Thank you, Michael, for that. I appreciate that.
Hey, man, I was
Now
just
we
waiting for it.
started.
There
Okay.
you go.
I should bring the computer back down and start doing the intro thing again. That makes it easier too. But
It's all right.
Anyway.
We in here, baby. We in here right now.
um,
You know the guy who made the song? Did you guys ever use the song? We read it. We read it. Yeah, he got killed. I'm sorry. It's not funny, guys.
that's
It's just
not where
what
I
I
saw
said.
that going.
It's like, no, he just got shot like the other day by his brother.
He did.
Yeah, it was like, and it's funny because it wasn't funny, but it was messed up because they were like, yeah, he made the infamous, and then I saw some.
That was an Under Armour song, right?
Well, it was his
Well,
song,
right? But
yeah.
it was on
And then, yeah, they used it for a bunch of stuff, yeah.
commercial.
It was like, and I remember because we were in high school, we
We
it was like, I remember the whole song, but people just used the beginning of it. I'm like, hey, I forgot the whole song.
Yeah, I don't know the whole song. I just know that part.
He was from Atlanta. He was like 17 when he made that song. No, he is.
No, I know, but I feel like if you're a rapper now, it's like, we from Atlanta. Like,
Oh, no, yeah. A lot of people move to Atlanta and lie about being from Atlanta. Even this little chick made a song telling people that they're not from Atlanta.
really?
Like, different parts claim Atlanta. And she was like, you're not Atlanta. Such and such, such, you're not Atlanta. I was like, that's the whole song.
We even got Fila, Forever I Love Atlanta.
Is that was Forever I Love Athletics?
I think that's what the actual shoes
Was it?
are.
Oh, okay.
But they made that song, Forever I Love Atlanta, Forever I Love
Oh, yeah.
Fila.
And what's the name?
That was a good song.
What's the name had his song Adidas? Killer Mike. This is when he was still trying to be like a real big rapper.
Oof, I don't remember that.
It's called All Day I Dream of Sex. All day I dream
I
of
do
sex.
remember everybody
All
talking
day
about
I
that. Look,
dream of sex.
in like middle school, people, oh, they have to be
Yeah.
like, we know what you got, Adidas.
I can't remember what Nike stood for. Somebody made some dumb shit up. Either way, Will Smith is a bitch.
Jump right into that.
I'm sorry, man.
Deep
Because I was telling people. I told my wife. I was like, when I first saw. First of all, when I first saw it, I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh, this is fake as shit. And then it was like, it was. So when I originally saw it, just like I saw it at work right after it happened. Like I was on my way to work driving, and I saw like a little news thing pop up on my phone. It was like Will Smith slaps Chris Rock, and I was like, oh, they must have did some type of joke or some shit, you know, something simple. Once what happened, because I'm like, hold on. First you laugh. You look over and see your bald-headed ass wife got a problem being called a bald-headed ass motherfucker, even though she said, I'm not afraid of my bald head, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, oh, it's from 5 years ago when Chris Rock in 2016 made a joke. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he could have stepped to him anytime between 2016 and the fucking Oscars in 2022.
First off, let's just talk about that one piece right there.
What?
Because that
The original joke, which was really funny, actually.
well, I don't. What was the 2015 joke? Do you know?
16. I know exactly what happened. So this is what happened.
Yeah, run me on that because I don't know anything about
It was
that.
at the time where they were like, Oscar's so white. And they were, they were.
Is this where she didn't want him to do it?
She didn't want
host
him to host it. And he was like, bitch, I need to
I'm gonna
make
get
money.
paid.
Yeah, like, fuck you, like,
I'm not making movies no more.
yeah, it was like, yeah. So, but it was funny because after that, he started doing shows and some more movies and stuff like that. But it was like, yeah, he made a really funny joke. And he was like, Jada Pinkett boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. Neither one of us was invited. And I was like, that's a fucking good joke. I don't care. But they weren't there. So he said, he said it with like, no problem. And I'm like, look, if she got a problem with it, supposedly they were friends and he could, Will Smith could rap. But again, Will Smith didn't have a fucking issue with it.
All right, so you said Will Smith
So basically, Chris
wasn't
Rock,
invited. Sorry about that.
No, so Jada Pinkett, he made a funny joke about Jada Pinkett Smith, whatever.
That was a funny joke. Way better than the.
Oh yeah,
the
way
new
better
one.
than the one that he did. And it's like now, I am a strong believer that you cannot tell people how to react to things that you do to them, right? Now they could, even if it's wrong, you still can't say, hey, you should be. Now you would think like, hey, if I do this to you, that shouldn't call for you to pull out a gun and shoot me, right? But also somebody said, well, if you kept your fucking hands to yourself, he would have never shot you. So it's like, although it is wrong, it is also your option. But the consequences after that are now you're going to go to prison for some stupid shit, blah, blah, blah. Either way, it was like, so when people were like, oh, because my wife was getting mad at this, she was like, why do they keep saying it's not that big a deal of a joke? It's not that big, because she's been watching Jada Pinkett go through the whole hair thing.
Did you listen to? It sounds like you did, but did you listen to Ridiculous Idiots?
Ridiculous, Brilliant Idiots.
Brilliant Idiots. Sorry.
It was one. So there's a couple things they did. One where this chick was on there.
They just did it about. They just had their podcast come out.
You talking about this week?
I don't know if it was this week, but they just had their podcast come out recently about the Will Smith thing.
There was, so what's the name?
Because I saw Schultz do his own.
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
No.
When he put the suit of armor on, I was like, you got dirty.
First of all, Tom Segura.
Tom Segura was
He was just
mad.
like, you're a fucking bitch. Fuck that bald-headed bitch. Blah, blah. I was like, oh, shit.
He's
Did
like,
you know this, man?
Did you see his, I might have sent it to you, it was a TikTok. He's like, I just want you to know. I'm going to say some jokes that are going to offend you. If any of you motherfuckers come up on stage, I'm going to knock the shit out you.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, it was hilarious. He's like, don't you dare come up on my motherfucking stage. I'll raise my hands.
But here's the thing.
Hilarious.
See, that's the fucked up problem was, I said, what's more fucked up once I sat back and looked at it, I was like, Will Smith used his fame and his persona to not only get up on stage, but to do what he did, because nobody else could have did that. Chris Rock, if Chris, like that was 50 Cent, like, hey, whoa, 50, oh, what's going on, buddy? Chris Rock with him like, hey, what's going on, 50? Like, but because everybody knows Will is a laughable, fun guy, and he's also Will Smith, 30 years in the game, still popular, still everybody wants to be his friend, he gets to come up and they're like, oh, it's about to be a funny joke. They're about to do something silly. Maybe they work something out because Will Smith is the funny, laughable guy. And then he goes up there and he smacks Chris. And at first I'm like, wait a second. That kind of, the only reason why I knew it was real is because one, like, you know how you do this? Did you guys ever do this where you put your hand on somebody's chest?
Fake
I
slap.
just taught my daughter that we do it all the time, and I was like, we got to do this in public.
Yeah.
Like I said, baby, do it. I'm like, oh, baby, how could you? And then I do it to her, and she'll fall all down. I was like, that's gonna really go get me fucked up when they do that in public. But
it did look the way he did, like the overemphasization of the hips. I'm like, who slaps like that? Like,
that's what I'm saying.
He did a movie slap.
It looked like it was like for a second they edited it or something like that. So that's why I was like,
No, just the way he turned his hips so aggressively. He did it in a really it's a ladybug.
Oh, okay.
He did it in a really theatrical way of being like, I slapped you. And it was just like,
I slapped you.
and I was like, okay, was that fake? And I was like, you could tell then after.
No, it was the.
Oh, that was real.
Yeah, it was because at first I'm like, oh, that's fake as shit. But then Chris Rock was like, Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me. And he's like, oh, okay.
And then he was taken back by like,
yeah, it took him a second. It
Like-
took him a second. But what really got me was when Will was like, keep my name's what? My wife's name out your fucking mouth. And I was like, no, this motherfucker didn't.
now you look crazy.
I was like, no, you did. I was like, hold on. You didn't have 30 fucking years to be West Philly Willie, whatever you want to call it, and act a fool with no cameras around, no social media. But this, I was like, especially after this motherfucker been making a fool of you for the last 2-3 years. Listen, what's wrong?
For some reason, you sound so loud.
I'm just a loud person, baby. Don't be turning me down. Don't turn the black man down. Some bitch.
But I'm. Why is my shit not as loud as yours? I feel like I'm not near as loud.
Get some energy in you, baby.
What was that? Check. Yo, no, I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, but either way, it was like my problem was with, and I told my wife this. I was like, he's like, then he went up. I was like, first of all, I had a problem with him and hitting Chris Rock, obviously. Two was like, you fucking laugh. Don't look over to your left and then be like, oh, I need to get up and fuck it. Like, that's never been you. Don't even fucking try to do it now. I said, third of all, it's like they fucking let you still present. I was like, oh, y'all some Hollywood bitches. I was like, because I was like, in reality, what happens is, first of all, there should have been security. There would have been some big motherfuckers like, hey, Will, you gotta get the fuck up out of here. And then if they couldn't get him out of there, then they go, hey, police, we have an incident. We need to get this gentleman up out of here. And then the police escort you. If you want to act a fool, they arrest you, drag you out while you screaming, don't talk about my fucking wife, blah, blah, blah. It was like, but because you're rich and famous and you're Will Smith, they fucking let you do all that dumb shit, then get up on stage and cry like somebody just fucking assaulted you. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I was like, No, I'm saying like no. I was like, and it's funny. Here's the fucked up part about it. I was like, you fucked up your night and somebody else's night with that dumb shit. Because I didn't even.
What was funny is that. So there was a whole bunch of stuff that came out afterwards. Like, okay, so first off, the reason he didn't get kicked out was because the like.
They were bitches.
Well, the person who was like the producer of I guess the Oscars or whatever.
Yeah, his name I think Will Packer.
The black guy, right? Yeah, he was like, "Don't kick him out," blah 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 blah. Like, let him stay. Blah, blah, and they were like, "No, he's got to go." And he's like, oh, "Come on, come on." And then they asked Chris Rock, like, "Chris Rock, you want to go?" And Chris Rock's like, "No, no, let him stay, let him stay." That was why I let him stay. Then the cops heard about it.
Yeah, and
showed up.
they were like, "We're going
"Hey,
to take
Chris
him
Rock,
to jail."
we're going to arrest this motherfucker." Chris Rock's like, "No, no, no, don't arrest him, don't arrest him." So that was the only reason he got to stay.
But still, what
still,
they should have
right.
did was
no other event. If you popped off, if that was,
even if he just was like yelling like he was, they were like,
if you were just at a let's say you were just at a football game and something happened like that, and you slapped the guy, and why? Because he said something about my wife, and they're like, you gotta go.
Yeah, you gotta get the fuck out of here.
Because you were the guy who like engaged in violence, which is kind of funny because it's like one of those. I'm gonna make it political, but it's one of those where they're like the liberal white people get in a bind. They're like, black oppression, but yet we don't like violence. So they had to like pick a side because there was a lot of awkward ass interviews after that, and they were like, I don't know, Will Smith's probably going through some stuff, but I can't condone violence. There's no time where violence is good. And I'm like, I don't disagree with you, but it's hilarious to hear that come out of your mouth because like they're just being very careful about what they say. You can tell they're like really.
Because they still want to do a movie. They still want to still want to be involved in whatever he's got going on.
But the reason I say all that is because like the Guardian came out with like an article that was like, white supremacy causes Will Smith to go overboard in outrage. And a lot of people are acting like Chris Rock was a white dude. Like in the sense of like, it's like, no, this was just a black guy hitting another black guy. Like, but some people talked about it as because he was so hyped up because of like all this, the history with the Oscars, this, that, and the other. And I'm like, well, think about Leonardo DiCaprio. That motherfucker's come out with a shit ton of good movies.
Yeah, he did.
And then him fighting a bear and a bear fucking him up is what.
I know, right? Look, goddamn,
them things.
That's durable to
these
the
rhododendrons out there, man. They go out to them rhododendrons and then they.
What the fuck did you say?
Them big bushy flowers over there.
Okay.
They can get in any crevice. We just started having them.
It's just like the fucking what's the stink bugs?
Yeah.
It's like, how did you get in?
These are technically Asian beetles. So everything from Asia that we get is shitty. The hornets, stink bugs came from Asia.
Jesus.
These things came from Asia. They're called an Asian beetle, but they look just like a ladybug.
That's not even a ladybug?
Nah, it's not a real ladybug.
Die, you come over here again. I thought you were a ladybug. I was giving you respect.
Yeah, no.
Sorry. Go ahead.
But yeah, so and then I was talking to a buddy like a couple days after it happened. I didn't even know what happened, and he sent me. He sent me a thing, and I'm like, huh, what? I was like, this has got to be fake.
If it wasn't for, like I said, the news thing popping up, and it was like Will Smith, I'm like, Will Smith, they slapped fucking Chris Rock, and I looked at it, I was like,
it's Will Smith.
What is it? And I literally spent the rest of the night investigating it, and then everybody came to work. The other people came to work. They were like, "Did you see Will Smith?" I was like, "I saw Will Smith talking shit about Chris Rock."
I was like,
"That shit's real."
It was fake. I was like, I don't know. And
but then it wasn't like I said. What happened was like Chris Rock's response after it was like when somebody doesn't know what to do after you get hit, or then also with Will Smith yelling for. I was like, oh, when he yelled from the audience, that's real.
Yeah.
I was like, because Chris was like, it's a G.I. Jane joke, and he was like, I don't give a fuck. I was like,
keep my wife's name out mouth. Like
Ricky Gervais is like, keep other people's penises out of your wife's mouth and shit like that. Like, God damn.
He went on The View.
Oh man,
I don't know if you watched that.
No, I didn't see that one.
He was.
Will Smith got some good heat from
way.
the fucking what's the name? Like the comedian, like the comedy community. Because I was like,
oh
you
yeah, they're all
you
real
didn't just.
bad.
I was like, you didn't just hit a 1 year comedian who was
you
like,
hit a legend.
Like you hit a fucking legend. It was like if we say Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But all those people. Like, and you hit him because he made, which a lot of comedians are like, it wasn't even that big.
Softball joke.
Yeah, it was like
it was a lame joke, and it wasn't even an offensive joke. Like G.I. Jane was Demi Moore, who was the hottest fucking chick in the 90s.
Time, yeah.
Like I still think she's hot as shit. But like striptease,
I haven't seen it.
She's good.
Nah,
She's a good looking woman.
I will say I saw striptease and I was like, oh, some titties. Okay.
Yeah, that was like the movie that actually made her go downhill. But she had a massive Hollywood career. That's when she was actually married to Bruce Willis at the same time. But like, you know, it was like a strong woman character, if you will.
But even that
going into like it wasn't a bad.
Jada had just said before, literally right before.
I'm not afraid of my.
I embrace this. Blah blah blah.
Do you think he knew
who
Chris Rock?
That he knew that was going to happen?
I don't think. Well, so apparently he didn't write the joke. One of the writers wrote the joke, but they
Somebody
have so
said
many.
He ad-libbed that one. That's what I heard, but I don't know.
I heard it was one of the writers wrote it, not him. But at the same time, he has to usually those guys have to put every joke through.
Yeah, through
and get them approved because it's going to be on national television.
Which is amazing. If you ever seen when Ricky Gervais did it,
I know.
I was like,
but
y'all let this shit slide
too. I was thinking about like,
I don't think he'll be back.
I text you, yeah. I text you about this. Like, would it have happened if it was a white guy?
That's what I was trying to figure. When you said it, I was like,
well, if Ricky Gervais would have made it about Will Smith, and I think about it, I'm like, I don't think Ricky Gervais
would have been more offensive. Like, I
don't think Ricky Gervais would have went after. So here's where I put myself in the predicament if I'm Chris Rock, like in just the way culture is right now. Chris Rock, I feel like can get away with it because he's like loved by white people. You know what I mean? Whereas Ricky Gervais, I wouldn't say is popular among black people. Like you're like he's a comedian. Who's this guy? Who's this?
I know this because I like comedy.
Right, but you know what I mean. Like when it comes down to like the elites, like let's say Hannibal Buress was up there. I bet you half of them white people wouldn't have a fucking clue who Hannibal Buress is. You know what I'm saying? So like if he would have thrown the punch, he would have thrown the joke. Would it have said the same? Because it came from like somebody with that high level, like
somebody
Chris Rock.
High
Chris
level.
Rock's high level comedian, like you said. He's one of the greats. And on top of that, he's also, you know, not the biggest movie star, but he's been in a lot of movies. So even if you don't like comedy,
famous whether he's
right,
yeah.
you know him.
Yeah.
Whereas like Hannibal Buress, people are like that guy was in Spider-Man one time. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he's a comedian. I didn't even know. You know what I mean?
Well, no, you know what? Only Hannibal Buress, but I get what you're saying because Hannibal Buress put the spotlight on Bill Cosby. Like everybody was blaming him, and he was like, "Wait, no, this has been going on for decades. We all know this.
Right.
Nobody's talking about it."
True, but so I'm saying, like, would it have landed the same if Ricky Gervais? First off, I don't think Ricky Gervais would have made the joke, but what I was
I think he would have made a worse joke.
The point is, a white comedian probably wouldn't lay into like a black person's wife or a black actress's wife. Yeah, person. Period on national television. Chris Rock, I think, could get away with it,
but
because he's loved. But could Hannibal Buress? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Like a lesser comedian.
Yeah, lesser comedian. There you go. Like
I still don't think I don't think Will would have got up for lesser. I think he might have said something. I don't even think what's his name would have been as offended as it coming from Chris Rock versus like a lesser person.
That's actually a good point.
Because they could have been like, you know what?
If it was Ricky Gervais said the same thing, he'd been like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, because it was like,
"Use a bitch." I don't even know who you are.
Like
you're below me.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Because they'd have been like, oh, yeah. Because he'd be like, "Oh, not a problem. I'm about to make some calls. Your ass about to be dead in the fucking
right,
water."
But he can't fuck with Chris Rock.
I was like, yeah, Chris Rock is already established. Chris Rock, movie wise, yeah, it's not on the same, but fame. He's been around 25 plus years.
Easily.
Will Smith's been around 20, 30 years.
They've both been around since the 80s.
Exactly. So it's like one of those situations where it's like, nah, he's done enough to you can't stop his money.
You're not gonna.
You know what I'm saying? You can't fuck him up.
Right.
In the back area. You know what? Backstage type shit.
Yeah, you can't end his career.
So it's like,
phone calls.
But still, again, like I said, I still think it's a bitch move because it's like, bro, your wife has gone out of her. Here's the part that a lot of people don't know. She went on, and you probably knowing you with your research, but you may not know. She went on Oprah and downed this man so bad.
Chris Rock?
No. Her husband, Will Smith. She's been talking shit about Will Smith for the past 3 years.
I didn't know that, but I heard that she was like...
Shit. With the first entanglement thing?
Yeah.
That's what opened up the floodgate.
He was like real awkward about it, like on that podcast.
Yeah, because he did it. Because he was like, so... Because he was like, "Jada, so something you want to say?" She was like, "Well, yeah, you know, I had an entanglement." And he was like, "Entanglement?"
Yeah, and I heard he was like, "I'm going to get you back." And he was just like awkwardly nervous. Look, I get it. The guy's been going through some shit, but nobody's going to feel bad for you.
No. his wife has been putting him through shit. There's a difference. His wife has now, but here's the kicker. And I told my wife this. I was like, look, I also realized before, because Will Smith put out a book saying he fucked so many bitches that it used to make him physically sick thinking about having sex and nut because he had so much sex. He was like, I would literally get physically sick. Like, I don't want to do this. He was like, but that's because he fucked so much. Mind you, him and Jada have been together 20 plus years while he's been the big time Will Smith.
20
oh,
years?
yeah. They've been together for a long
So you know
time.
he's done.
Oh, he's cheated on. So I told people, I was like, what happened was Will Smith has cheated on her repeatedly. Even if they had an open relationship, I guarantee Will Smith brought the idea up to her so that he could fuck other bitches.
Probably.
Because he was like, look.
And now it happened to him. He's like, woo.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. So basically, it's one situation where it's
That's a good point.
as they gotten older, and he's finally like,
hey, Will, that's 2 strikes.
so it's as they gotten older, he's finally like, you know what? Let me focus on my wife now.
Yeah,
it's just like,
he's getting all sentimental.
Yeah,
and shit.
it's like, no, there's been like 40 or 50 bitches I know personally, but on top of the other hundreds that you probably slept with when you were gone.
Well, like this just, it's not like the shit doesn't like. Unfortunately, this is a double standard with men versus women. Like, it's like what's that thing? Everybody likes a master key, but nobody likes a master lock. Or whatever.
Like, no.
Everybody
What's what do you call a shitty lock? No, what do you call a lock that can open for any key? And like, oh, that's a shitty lock. What do you call a key that can open any door? Is a master key. And it's funny because it's like I've heard that. And I used to, but now I'm thinking, I'm like, no, I mean, yes,
that's a good key.
It's a good key, but
that's a shitty lock.
That's like, but when you put it on a human, that's a shitty person.
It is a shitty person, but you know what I mean. It's like
it's like
that's a good key. You know what I mean. You get that key, baby. But you hear that lock. You need to leave that lock.
And it's funny because it's like, but the funniest shit is
that
like
lock got open.
The funniest shit is that like so it's basically like Jada was like, you know what? Fuck you. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna jump back in the scene, and guess what? I'm telling everything. I'm gonna start light. Oh, you know, me and Will have had issues, blah 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 blah. All the shit that people talk about. It's like, but then I'm gonna hit your ass. She told Oprah.
Well, think about that. Within that Hollywood circle, people talk. So you know what I mean.
Oh, they're knowing that Will's fucking
right, but it's same thing. It's not like a mainstream that we all know. I mean, to your point, I guess you do, but I never did. But at the same time, you know, when you go somewhere, people are like, you know, they open relations.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. But
it's catching up to him.
It was rumors.
Right.
Like it's like, oh, you know, Oprah and Gail have sex, and Stedman's just there for her beard and blah blah. It's like, but it's rumors. We don't know. They both came out like, it's just kind of real, man. Sorry, you know, just wanted to let you know. And it's like, hey. And that's what I was arguing with my wife about because she was so mad. She was like, "Oh, they're trying to shit on Jada." I was like, "No." I was like, "Shitting on Jada because she's been shitting on Will." Now, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure Will started the shit party with the cheating and the doing his thing and being whatever. I was like, but here's the other thing. I'm not gonna
lie. I thought he was an upstanding guy, not doing any of that. But
oh no, read his book. I
read his book back in his first book called Willpower in middle school. It was like one of the first biographies I ever worked.
This last one.
Yeah, I don't want to read that.
This last one is gonna make you. I mean, it's not gonna make you really think. It's gonna make you like, oh, okay, he's a normal guy. He's what you would probably think he should have been, but we thought he wasn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Bill Cosby.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, don't put that on him. Don't put that on him. Don't you put that evil on him, Ricky Bobby.
He wasn't taking all that pudding pop.
Exactly.
Put the spoon in. Zapadoo.
But that's what my favorite thing is. Like, don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby. But either way, Will Smith did his shit, but he did it quietly behind closed doors, or at least the whole world didn't know.
Right.
See, and it's funny because Jada didn't really do too much. Problem is, she was in love with Tupac. Yeah, her and Tupac used to be real heavy. They came up to school. They came up together.
I didn't know that.
Tupac lived in Baltimore. He went to the Baltimore School of Arts.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
I knew he was...
it's funny.
I knew he was East Coast, but
yeah, he's Baltimore.
I don't know why I never associated... I always thought he was New York.
I think he did start in New York, but then they moved to Baltimore. But I think he did he might have done his high school years, maybe a little bit more, but she's from Baltimore too. So they met in Baltimore and they met at the school. They were really in together and they always said they had love for each other but never love. They're like, look, he hit that, all right? It was one of the things where it's like, I love you, but I don't know if we can be together, but we can still hit and smash. So, but Will even said.
That's by the zoo, isn't it? Baltimore School of Arts?
It might be. I
think it is.
I know there's two different ones. There's one in Towson, the Towson area, then there's one like that's known as the Baltimore School of Arts. But don't give me the line. Either way, Will even said he was jealous of Tupac. But there's nothing he could do because he was like, hold on, man, I'm fucking Big Will, baby. And he was like, it's Tupac though. And at the time,
Will Smith won shit compared to Tupac.
Oh yeah, and especially in that time in like '96 when Tupac was at the height of his thing, right before he got killed. It was like Will Smith was like being known,
Fresh
and
Prince.
he's exactly
That's about it.
But he's Fresh Prince. Fresh Prince isn't Tupac. Tupac is fuck the world, blah blah blah. All the girls want him. He takes his shirt off. He got the whatever. People got pictures. And Will Smith is the Teen Vogue, Teen Beat magazine. You know what I'm saying? Smile.
He's like the Justin Timberlake of rappers. You're like, yeah, you can sing, but shut up.
Yeah, it's like, look, take your teeny bobby ass, bobbing ass on. And that's who Will Smith was.
You ever see that Family Guy make fun of him? I don't hit women. I don't do drugs. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
And that was his thing.
Yeah, he was a bitch. During the hard ass.
Yeah, I was saying,
late
during
80s
the
and
gangster
90s.
rap time, because he came up in the late 80s.
That's when rap was good.
Like everybody forgot that Will Smith was out around the same time as NWA.
Yeah,
he got a platinum record the same time NWA got a platinum record. Yeah,
For what?
He lost his. If you read, it's like he lost his money. He said he got $1 million, but didn't know about taxes.
He was actually friends with Jay-Z.
That I don't know.
Yeah,
I know he is now.
Excuse me.
I know he is
It
now.
was the Jay-Z. Yeah, because wasn't Jay-Z Cooley Core or some bullshit? That was
No.
They based the character of Fresh Prince off of Jay-Z. I thought I could be making shit up.
Oh,
No, scratch that. That's a lie. It was another Jay-Z, I think. No, I think he was. I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking about that.
Well, Jay-Z got his name from being with a guy named Jazzo.
Right, but I
doubt Jazzo knew Fresh Prince like that because Jay-Z, like everybody forgets that Jay-Z was like pushing 30 by the time he made it.
Well,
he was in
that's
like
what I mean.
26,
He wasn't
27.
that big.
No.
He was like early. He was like.
He was starting to get a name. He was
like lower than Will Smith at that time.
Oh yeah, Will Smith would have been.
They were good friends.
They would have definitely been the more.
I just want to make
actor.
sure that's the same Jay-Z.
But Will Smith only rapped for like a couple years before he started acting.
Right.
And then only other time he started rapping was like to help really his acting career.
What was his first big movie? Bad Boys.
His actual first movie was 6 Degrees of Separation. He played a con man who pretended to be gay to get into these people. Yeah. So he does a scene. They were like, hey, you can do a kissing scene or you can just do a scene where you're laying in bed with a man. You don't have to do nothing with him.
6 Degrees of Separation.
Yeah. But he wasn't the star that was just his first movie. He was in it. And then the next one was Independence Day, which he's again.
Independence Day was before Bad Boys. Yeah, because he was the second.
No. You're right.
Yeah.
Bad Boys is before Independence Day because Independence Day is like 96, 97.
Yeah, and then he was like the.
But he came out all cussing. Everybody's Will Smith cussing and shooting and doing all this shit. Okay. It's like now was yeah.
Best line of the whole movie.
And it's like,
he was like,
I remember he got
Chris Rock, welcome to Earth.
Yeah, fucked it. But still, it was like, and then everybody was like, "Oh, if it was somebody else, he wouldn't have done it." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "They're like, it was The Rock." I was like, first of all, if it was The Rock, he might have just said, "Hey, come on."
You know, that's the biggest thing that has sort of pissed me off about all this whole thing.
Was that?
And this is gonna sound awful, but I gotta say, how. And I even was listening to the. Was it Ridiculous Idiots?
Brilliant Idiots.
I was like, why I was going to say ridiculous. Sorry. Brilliant Idiots. And they had the chick on who was defending.
And I was like, stop defending
the fuck out of Will Smith. He stood up for his wife. Yeah. It's about time black man stood up for black women. I'm like,
nah.
I was like, Nah. I was like, I don't know.
Stand up against Chris Rock is really.
I was like, I don't know if that's a good time to use that line.
I don't know if that's a good time to do some dumb shit like that either.
I was like, I don't think it bears, but like, that's what I was telling you. My buddy was laying it on thick because like, one of his black friends, he was hardcore more left the both of us combined, put some shit up in that same realm, and then one of
I seen that shit.
his other friends who's black put something up, and then he just goes down the comments and reads all the shit. He's like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?"
A lot of people were like, "Oh, yeah, finally a black man standing up for a black woman." I was like, "That's not even the same
off,
shit."
He embarrassed the shit out of himself at like a really prestigious elite event. Like, you can't do that.
No, I was like,
There's never a good time to slap the shit out of somebody on national TV. If you want to take them out back and fuck them up, that's the whole thing. Where do you want to step outside? That's where that comes from. Like, if don't cause a ruckus and fuck everybody else's night. Don't be so selfish.
Hey, and it was some shit we couldn't hear. Like, hey,
I'm gonna fuck you up later.
And then just shit, blah, blah, and went back. He was like, "Oh, all right, I ain't gonna say no more." You know what I'm saying? I'm like, "Oh shit," because we could
say he even embarrassed him and didn't hit him. Mm-hmm. Even if he wanted to yell something from the crowd, that would have been like, not tasteful, but smacking him.
No, that's... Like, I tell everybody, I was like, look,
and then try to be, I'm sorry, Academy.
But no, see,
I'm going through a tough time right now.
What pissed me off?
I'm rich and famous, and I'm known to be a nice guy, and I don't like it anymore. I want to say fuck.
Exactly.
Shut up, Will Smith.
But it's funny.
And it's painful because I loved Will Smith.
Who you telling?
For the longest time.
Oh man, that shit made me so mad because it was like you went up there with a smile on your face, which again, you're playing this role. You're doing everything to get close to this person, right? You're basically pretending to be a different person to get close to this person. Even you guys even have some type of a friendship. And then you go up there and you hit him, and then you come back and you want to, yeah, and then smile and smirk on your way back. And fucking Jada, her little dumbass want to fucking laugh about this shit. Like, they showed her laugh. Oh, it's so funny. I was like, man, say some more shit. I was like, Chris Rock, please do me a favor. Talk about this motherfucker. Have security at every show and talk about this shit.
Best part, though, was when he was like, I could. Never mind. And he's like, and he just moved on. Yeah. But he could have.
Oh yeah, he could have went in.
Chris Rock could have
But he already seen they weren't gonna protect him.
Right, but like you said, he could have ad-libbed the fuck out of like some shit and just been like, you know what, I'm about to pop off. Because like Chris Rock can rant. Like that dude of anybody.
And he could have did his, and he could.
But out of anybody who could like, I don't know, what do you call freestyle comedy? Just when you just go off the cuff, you know he can do it
and he
better than anybody.
He could have been like,
especially crowd
really?
work.
Here, this is what you want to do? Like you could have. He's like, you could have kicked my ass backstage. He's like, this was like he could have went in on him like that, and Will Smith would have been looking stupid. Don't talk about my wife, even though she's embarrassing me for the last 3 years. Like, get the fuck out.
But it's hilarious. Like, I watched somebody put together like a compilation of the Ricky Gervais, and I was like, his jokes. I was like,
listen, that's what I'm saying. When he did the fucking Oscars. Dog, he went to town on them people, and I was like...
It wasn't the Oscars, it was Global
Was it Golden Globes?
Chris Rock's done all the last Oscars since, 2005.
But he wasn't actually... It wasn't him hosting. He was just presenting for somebody else.
Are you sure?
Yeah, he was just a presenter, because that's what I'm saying. Will Smith fucked up. So the guy, you know who Questlove
No,
is?
he did 2005, and he did 2016, he didn't do it?
No. I'm saying he hosted versus... The other night, he was just presenting.
Oh, he wasn't hosting?
No, he was just presenting.
Oh, shit, I thought he was the host.
It was hosted by 2 or 3 chicks, something like that. Like,
I thought he was
some
the
famous
host.
ladies. I think Viola Davis or somebody, and a couple other people. But he wasn't a host. That's what I'm saying. He was just a presenter who was giving a little bit of a roast to the people in the crowd.
I don't care.
But here's the thing.
About the Oscars.
My problem is he fucked up. I didn't even know Will Smith won an Oscar. That's how... He fucked his own night up.
I only knew he won an Oscar because of his like.
No.
And he apologized to everybody but Chris Rock. I'm like, you're a douche, man.
You can say he's a bitch.
Well, the thing is, like, I hate when people
like you had no right
think they can get away with something because they're famous.
Yeah,
like,
and he knew. That's what I'm saying. That's why I told my wife. I was like, he only did this shit because he was famous.
Yes,
because he knows he could. He know he couldn't do that anywhere else. There's nowhere else.
I think he could do that anywhere else. That's the problem. Like, he could slap the shit out of somebody and get away with it, where anybody else could slap the shit out of anybody else and not get away with it.
I think he could get away with. I think he could get away with the action, but I think anywhere else, the cops were like, "Hey, we gotta get him. You gotta leave." Like even at a restaurant, they were like, "Sir, you and your party, you're gonna have to leave. You may be spending $20,000 tonight, but."
Yeah,
you fucking it up for everybody else.
I bet a lot of those cops have to deal with Hollywood people.
Yeah.
So that when they get a chance, they're like, nah, I'm going to fuck you up.
But even if it would have been a slap on the wrist, it would have been like, you got to go.
Right.
At the very least, you got to go. You can no longer be here.
My point is like how like if let's just say a cop around here got pulled over Will Smith, they'd be like, "What? Oh, yeah, you can go ahead, Mr. Smith. I don't, I'm not gonna mess with you." But out there, where it's all the time,
assholes.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They probably get like
how much you make? I make blah blah blah. I make
like I buy you.
Yeah, I'm like
like
especially when they have a coke or drug or some shit like that.
Right.
Listen, but that's why I'm like that shit right there made me so mad because it was just one of the situations where it's like just to get up on stage, you use your notoriety, your fame, all that stuff. It's like you slapped, then you came back. And it's like then when I saw that Jada laughed at him getting smacked and then was okay with it, I was like, no, fuck you too. I was like, you want to sit up here and give him a look, make him act like a fucking dummy. I was like, so you telling me 30 years, whether like, oh yeah, we got to take. I said, guess what? I never see. They talked about Denzel. They talked about Samuel. All these people, all the people who've been talked about, and you're the only dickhead. Think about this now. You're the only dickhead ever. Like, you're not one of them. You're the only one.
Yeah, you can't. That's true.
Think about that.
Out of all the people,
all the years,
all the
decades
that have gotten fucked with,
you're the only dickhead who did this shit. They're like, yeah. And it's like, oh, listen.
That's a good point.
When I saw the comedians going, I was like, oh, you about to get this work for you. Oh, they going so many Will Smith jokes and all this, and I was like,
Will Smith the shit out you.
But the negative part, because a lot of comedians are like, oh, he's a bitch.
They've already like stopped his one Disney movie. They're like, yeah, we're gonna have to postpone that.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I don't even know what it was, but I heard about it.
And it's funny. So so here's something that you may not be able to speak on as much as I can, obviously being black. But now they're like, oh, and now they're trying to take the black man's money. But Roman Polanski and who's the other guy that went to jail?
I don't know.
For raping the chicks. Like, yeah, you want to get in this movie, you want to eat this old
Weinstein.
Yeah. So they were like, oh yeah. I was like, those motherfuckers went to prison. Are y'all trying to? Is that really what y'all?
They're getting hoo-hooed and ha-ha right now.
No, don't get me wrong. It took a while. Yeah. They got their money.
They got what was coming.
But I was like, fucking Bill Cosby went to prison. He's blind and he's in his 80s.
And he's out of prison.
Yeah, I was like, well, he's out of prison. But either way, he still went. They still sent his ass to prison.
And he got off on a technicality.
80. Yeah. I was like, why? No, Weinstein's still in that bitch.
Yeah, he gonna be in there.
It's like so.
Indefinitely.
So it's like. And Roman Polanski or whoever the guy is, a child rapist, and then they talked about what's the Woody Allen who married his stepdaughter, which is still just. I was like, it's nasty, and you can say, hey, if something was happening before then, that's disgusting as well. Trust me, it's all disgusting. It's like, and they've gotten awards and all that. I'm like, yeah, but here's what they didn't do. In the midst of them being perverts, they didn't go up and physically assault somebody on live television on the biggest night of Hollywood. We're not saying that's the biggest night of television, but the biggest night of Hollywood's live events. You go and do something that's never been done. Think about this. Never been done. But a lot of people are like, oh, they're trying to take the black man down. I was like, no, sir.
Don't you think, though, too?
What?
I don't want to interrupt. Go ahead.
No. Okay. But because I'm like, I see it. I'm like, I see what you're trying to do. I was like, but it's not the same. I was like, because he put himself out there. So now the public sees, like, these guys, as horrible as they were, we didn't see. Like, if we saw, like, a videotape of Bill Cosby doing what he did, Weinstein doing what he did, fucking Allen, whatever. I mean, hell, he brought the chick up there, so whatever. Roman Polanski, who molested kids and then ran to Europe or some shit for no extradition.
I don't even know who that is, but.
That's what he did. He ran to he won an Oscar and was in a different country.
I do remember hearing about that.
Yeah, so because it was like he molested. I was like, now if there were video, yeah, but I was like, but there's not. It's hearsay and it's all this stuff. And they're like, don't get me wrong, it was true, but again, we didn't see it happen in real time.
Yeah.
We saw you fuck up in real time. Like,
millions of the entire universe didn't witness it.
Exactly. It's like
that was closed door stuff.
Exactly.
Like,
and
you can't deny that.
It's still fucked up.
You can make all the excuses.
But exactly.
But they all seem like shitty excuses.
I was like, because look, that's horrible. That's fucked up. We need to get them people in jail. And they finally went to prison, whatever. I was like, but here's the thing. We didn't see it. You decided, this is the absolute worst place to ever do this. I'm going to do it now. Doobie-doobie-doobie-doo. And you went up there and smacked the other grown man. and then yelled like a fucking idiot, then cried and didn't apologize, and then you want to apologize after the fact, after the shit starts coming down. Like, no, you don't get this. Like, yeah, this is what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to lose deals. You're supposed to lose money. Matter of fact, you're supposed to be a pariah right now, but you're still Will Smith. You still got shit you had in the works. You still had his company, was it Overbrook or something like that?
Yeah.
Like, you still had shit in production. So, yeah, that's just going to slow down. That's how it's supposed to go. I was like, you're supposed to lose money.
You can't fuck up like that.
Like, yeah, I was like, especially you. You're 30 years into this. You're not new to this. It's not a paparazzi. Like, he slapped the little guy.
Tiger Woods' wife put a fucking iron through his windshield, and he lost all of his sponsors. That's it.
And all he did was fuck ugly bitches.
From Denny's. None of us saw that.
I was like, we none. His wife did.
Unless his wife put the iron through the fucking windshield, nobody would have known. Nobody would have known.
And she would have just left, and he would have had to give up a bunch of money, whatever, and they would have been able to prove infidelity. But that would have been him. But he lost.
She would have got OJ
shit ton of money. Listen,
call the juice. I need a hitman.
Listen. You're right.
Bring a bunch of racist cops over so I can get away with it.
But that's exactly what you're right. Fucking Tiger Woods didn't even really hurt nobody. He didn't sleep with underage women. He just cheated on his wife, and they were like, "What?"
With unfamous bitches.
Exactly.
And they're like,
Give us that shit.
I got two points I got to make.
Go ahead.
One point is, don't you think though, at some point in time, like when people address you by your first and last name, like, oh yeah, that's Will Smith. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's Tiger Woods. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's OJ Simpson. Fill in the fucking blank. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Don't you feel like at that point in time, you're no longer like a race? Like when you have that much fame, you know what I mean? Like,
well, OJ said, he was like, I'm not black, I'm OJ.
Right. That's a good point. But don't you think like at some point in time, you don't even see that they have a skin color, period. They're just a famous person. Nobody looks at Oprah Winfrey and like, that fucking ninja. You know, they're just like, that's Oprah Winfrey. You know what I mean? In all seriousness, though, you know what I mean? You looking at his real word. I'm looking at his real word.
I was like, Steve, what the fuck, man? But
at that, I did want to bring up that I was going to play that thing. At that time, Will Smith had a ninja moment.
No, well, he really did. Because I was like, this motherfucker, I can't defend him, man. It's like, I love Will Smith. I've watched him. I fucking shed a tear even with my dad in the next room when he did the fucking Will Smith. It
was hilarious. I was editing the podcast.
Uh-huh.
It's actually posted on YouTube, but I edited that.
That's the reality of it.
We were talking about that scene in when he's in the subway with this kid. And he's holding his door shut. And
I'm
not
talking about that one.
I know, but you were just telling me in the podcast, and we were both like, "Yeah, I love Will Smith." Like, yeah, I love him. He's right. And now we're like, "Fuck you, Will Smith! Fuck you, little ass bitch!" Because we talked about that in John Q.
Yeah, yeah. We were talking about the movies that make us cry. Yeah.
And being like, "Hey man, that's my kid."
And it's funny because Will Smith did an episode of The Fresh Prince. Right, his father comes back into his life. His father's not been in his life. His father comes back, and his Uncle Phil and his, and Aunt Viv, whatever, they're like, hey, watch out. Don't get too attached. He's like, that's my dad. He's doing the kid who's missing something, being really attached. And at the end, his father leaves on some whole shit like he normally would or whatever. And Will's like, no, you good. And then he has like this emotional breakdown. And it's a perfect scene.
They made a joke about that on
what? The Brilliant Idiots.
Brilliant Idiots, thank you.
There you go.
I didn't want to mess up again.
Ridiculous.
I almost said Ridiculous Idiots. On Brilliant Idiots, we're like, man, I haven't seen Will Smith cry like that since his dad came back on Fresh Prince. I was like, oh.
But that's the funny thing about it, because I remember I I was young when I said, and I was like, damn, well, my dad's in the next room. Well, my daddy don't want, wait a second.
He's right there,
bro. Yeah, I was like, oh, God, matter of fact, I was like, actually, he did pretty good. We just went to the movies. I was like, he was being a good dad today. So I was like, but it was such a powerful scene, and that's what I'm saying. So it was like, it's just weird. It's like, oh, man, that made me cry. And I'm like, now it's like, yeah, like you said, it was like, oh, man, we really love that. But it's, again, yeah, I love that movie, but I didn't like what the person did.
Well,
we're separating the art from the person.
I think it's the biggest letdown. more than anything because it's such
It is a huge letdown.
prestigious guy.
Because I'm like, I know Will Smith
Like
would do
if
no
you
shit
think
like
of
that.
like the best black actors period, but like like that's what I'm saying. Like they're not. I can't even think of them as black. They're just actors because
like
they're so.
Denzel and shit like
That
Samuel
sounds
Jackson,
kind of shitty
stuff
the
like
way I
that.
say it like
Yeah,
that.
I'm
But,
gonna let you live in that. But
but you know what I'm saying, though,
no, but
right?
I'm saying,
Like,
yeah. It's like
I don't think the world looks at them as like
they're just
that's
actors.
a black guy.
Yeah,
they're just
they're
actors.
like like because they're like, hey, you want to be like Denzel? Like, yeah, you can't be black, but you can act. You can get that level of commitment, whatever. And it's one of those things. So, but yeah, it's like. You're right. It is a letdown because, like I said, we're just last week talking about, man, this fucking movie, he was so awesome in this and this. Oh, man, you love this part. I love that part.
Yeah.
And then just to go be like, you did what? In real life?
Now, here's the second thing that really pissed me off.
Oh, what was that?
This was your boy, Charlemagne. So I'm proud of you for taking the stances you did. And maybe you just didn't listen to the podcast, but
I think you talking about with the chick or without? Because they did.
the chick
like
was
I said,
in
they
it.
did
The chick
two.
was in it, and I was
One
like,
was with
I was like,
one right after it happened.
Shut her.
Because they come up on Tuesday. I think they come out on Tuesday, and I think that happened like on a Tuesday or something. It might be Tuesday or Thursday. I might be wrong.
You know, you're 100% right. It's a Tuesday or Thursday,
And
but
they
it was
were
late because he did his own. Schultz did his own thing, and I was like, I've been looking for like new podcasts.
And then he came back on again and had the I think had the chick. They had the chick on, and then that's when he was more calm.
Yes, he was definitely much more calm.
But he's always more calm on that show than he is on his regular show. Because on his show he's the guy, and on that show Charlemagne's been the guy. Whether like Schultz got a lot better, but
I don't know. I'm not gonna look. I think
don't
it
worry
was
about
just the last previous one they did.
But
before this
I
one.
was upset.
They just had
with
one
the chick,
released
though.
today.
I was upset with that, but he's more now on the. Even in everything he does, even when he kind of talks shit or does something wrong, he's more now on the mental health, feelings, emotions.
Who?
Charlemagne, that's his thing now.
Yeah, he.
Because he was talking about, he said Will Smith's hurting and da da. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. So is Chris Rock's face.
Right. So what pissed me off, and I've heard a lot of people say this, is like, and Charlemagne's, people gotta forget, like these people are just human beings.
Yeah.
They're just human beings. They all make mistakes. They're just human beings. I'm like, you know who else are human beings? Cops. They're like, no, fuck the cops. I'm like, Will Smith he's just a human being.
You know who else is
I'm like,
human
you
being?
sound like
Chris
a white guy
Rock.
right now.
Chris Rock's a fucking human being. You got slapped him. And that's the other thing. As much as we love Chris Rock, it's going to be a while before we get that Chris Rock got the shit slapped out of him on national TV by Will Smith. He's going to even look.
I think though.
What?
I think this is going to skyrocket Chris Rock's career because people be like, I know what you're saying because it comes with the state, but he's already been on apparently he's gotten signed up for a bunch of new shit.
Oh yeah, no.
That's what I've been hearing.
Listen,
that's what
but
I
you
heard
know
on
why?
That too.
You know why? Because instead of going, you motherfucker, trying to fight him, whatever,
he took the high
he was
road.
like,
He took the high road.
He was like, and he even made a joke about Will Smith stuff, and then Will does whatever, and he was like, well, that's the most interesting night on television. All right. He was like, and then you see he gets stuck for a second, like, oh.
Well, it's kind of like everybody always says, and you said too, is like there's no such thing as bad publicity. So,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
He's going to be a hot ticket.
Because one, he's the victim. Because nobody looked at that joke and said, yeah, that deserves to get slapped in the fucking mouth for that one.
Nobody.
It was like, even though it's like, again, like I
But
said.
that's what pisses me off is the people who are like, yeah, he stood up and did this, or like he deserved that, or like even my buddy Demopus was like, yeah, you shouldn't make, of course, feminist, you shouldn't make a joke about another man's wife. I'm like,
They do it all the time.
first off,
He just got done.
that was a softball.
He just got done making fun of who's it, Javier Bardem, the guy from No Country from Old Men. He played the assassin guy, the bad guy.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
It's Javier Bardem, some whatever. He just him and his
Ben
wife
needs
were
to
in a
know
movie. Who?
I don't know. I made something up.
Stupid.
Go ahead. Wife in a movie.
Him and his wife are in separate movies, but they were both for Oscars or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, Chris was like, oh, if he wins, you can't win. Black.
Oh,
He made
yeah,
a little
'cause-
joke about them, about his, and his. I'm sorry. Again, I get it. People can't. Like I said,
It was something about he's got to if his wife wins, he's got to act like.
he's got to act like
He
it
didn't-
doesn't bother him.
Yeah, like-
and then if he's win, he can't act like it. So
Yeah,
it's like
it
but
was something like that.
And it was a little stuff, but he said some other stuff. But again, I'm sorry. I don't get it.
Here's the biggest thing that we're missing though. You sat I don't know. I assume it's assigned seats. I don't fucking know. Maybe not. You're in the front.
Mm-hmm. I think it's
You
assigned seats.
know.
But that's because they knew he was going to win. They already give you a heads up, like, hey, you probably won.
You probably,
Yeah.
But point is, though, you're in the front. You know this is coming. That's why when I went to see Bruce in an all-back comedy club, it was me and one other white guy besides my wife. We sat in the back. And the guy that was white up front, he was with black chick. He got roasted.
Yeah.
He got roasted. I was like, no, we were smart. We were in the back row.
He could have been black in the front row, and he would have got roasted. But it obviously stands out more than being white with a black chick. Yeah. That's like, but if you're in the front.
There's that, well, it's not flies in the buttercream. It's what was the opposite of that? He'd be the
flies in the buttercream. No, it'd be
that's what you said.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, give me another analogy.
He'd
be the marshmallow and the chocolate marshmallow ice cream. Sure. And like, yeah, I see that marshmallow.
But that's what I'm saying. But even if say he was black, if you sit in the front row, I have not been to one comedy show yet where anybody in the front row didn't get fucked with. It was like. It was. I went to a comedy show. It was a couple years ago now, but when I went, it was a group of white people. It was black people, white. Black. It was pretty mixed, but it was like 2 or 3 tables of white people, and they made fun of the white people. Then they went over to. Matter of fact, they even made fun of the white people. And the black guy, the white community was like, "You like that one, huh?" Like, the black guys were like, "Yeah, it was hilarious." It was like, so it was funny. Oh, it was. No diamond, huh?
Wrong hole.
That's what she said. Shane Gillis.
I know Shane
Gillis. Ralphie May. Shane
Shane Gillis is doing that.
First of all, his shit is hilarious. Did you see the OnlyFans dad? Oh.
No.
I was going to watch that shit. You're going to fucking die laughing.
Dad.
It's something called Gillis and G's or Keeves or something. He does a YouTube. It's all on YouTube. Like, this was like right after. It wasn't right after, but within the same year of him getting turned down for Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
So I think it was like after that, they made this. They got like a web series, and it's fucking hilarious. It's like, it's really funny. And I'm gonna tell you right now, like, he does one where he's like, I don't know if he's an actor or sports. He was like, yeah, man, like, haha, yeah, I just want to let you guys know. He's doing like a press conference. He's like, yeah, you know, out here making love to all these women, and then he's like, I can't lie anymore. He's like, the guy he gave credit to, he was like if it was Steve, he was like, Steve's been the one fucking these bitches. He's like, I ain't been fucking these bitches. Like, so it's like his whole press conference of him breaking down about not being the man and talking to. But the one I'm talking about, the OnlyFans, that I don't want to tell you because it's really fucking funny. Like, when I saw it, I was like, this is fucking hilarious. I was
look it up.
I swore you saw it. I thought we talked about it, but if you look, they did one with like 2 different groups of people was mourning the person, and it's like this group of they call themselves the Freemen, the Patriots with the gun. They got all the guns and shit. And one of those guys, but he has this horrible wig that's like a bowl cut on his head, and he's like, yeah, well, you know, McMillis would have loved this, blah blah. And then he had like these 2 black guys and this white guy, and they're over here playing their music while they're playing their music. I'm like, hey, you cut that nonsense down. And then they get into it, and they're like, oh shit, we're about to go. And the guys are like, you want to fucking go? And they like, and they're doing some weird walk towards them. They're like, oh shit, we're about to go. And everybody drops a clip out the gun, starts dropping guns, and they're like, dude, come on, we've been prepared for this, and it's. What I'm saying is, it's fucking hilarious. You guys
I feel like I did see that. Maybe you sent it to me.
But the fucking dad, the OnlyFans dad,
because that was a TikTok.
Hilarious. No, it was it would have been a YouTube if I sent it to you because it's long.
Was it long? Okay.
Yeah, but it's hilarious. I'm telling you that. You should watch that shit. Watch that shit 100 times over.
One thing I was gonna say was like to the Will Smith thing is like,
he's a bitch.
Think of how many people like go to a comedy show and want the comedian to roast them. Like, do me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, think of how many people sitting from home were like,
I don't want to do this shit.
Well, they've been like, if I was there, I'll take that joke. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like
I said, and he tried to say it wasn't Chris. That was the reason he smacked. I was like, well, bitch, you shouldn't be smacking him. If he's not the problem,
I get it. It's probably not, but he was probably at a breaking point. But at the same time,
But he wasn't. He wasn't. He looked over. He laughed, took it as a joke, looked over, saw that his wife was like, being fucking asshole that she is. I'm gonna tell you, you know who I really am done with? His fucking wife.
For sure.
It's like, because she's been embarrassing this dipshit for fucking 3 years now. I mean,
and then, like, you know, laugh at afterwards. But
also, she don't get enough hate for what she did. She slept with her son's best friend.
That's weird.
Her son, Jaden Smith.
That's a porn genre right there.
It is. What is it? Her son, Jaden Smith.
I was at my friend's mom's house.
Was his friend? Yeah. With his friend August Alsina. I know the guy because I used to like the singer. It was like,
think of how
Jaden's
got a
and
feel.
he was hooked on like some type of drug, coke, whatever.
What's the kid's name?
August Alsina.
No. Their son?
Jaden Smith.
Jaden. Okay.
So they're friends.
That's not even his real mom.
No, that's his real mom. Will Smith had 2 kids with her, and he had 1 kid before her.
You're right.
Whose name is Trey or whatever.
From
I think he's Will Smith.
the Fresh
Jr.
Prince.
He's the third. They call him Trey,
Okay.
but I think he's Will Smith Jr. Whatever. However that shit works. But yeah. So that's his friend. His mom takes a liking to him, helps the guy get clean, and they start sleeping with him. Yeah. Everybody's letting Jada Pinkett Smith slide on that shit, because if Will did that shit, if Will would have fucking got with Willow's friends.
Well, think of what that would do to the kid. Like, you fuck my mom, bro.
Yeah.
Like, everybody knows you fuck my mom.
Yeah, it's like, yeah. That's like with LeBron.
You ain't come to my house no more.
That's like LeBron. You ain't come to my house no more. You're not welcome. You can't come to the sleepovers no more. You know the cocaine parties we used to have? You're not invited. But that's like with, I don't know if you remember, and it's been quite a long time, but Delonte West, who went completely crazy. Oh, well, he had issues. It's like bipolar, like for real, like that bipolar shit we were talking about. Delonte West, he used to play, he played on the team with the Cavaliers when LeBron was on the Cavaliers slept with LeBron's mom. We had a whole relationship. I was like, God damn, homie, you gonna sleep with the superstar's mom? Even if it's not a superstar, your teammate's mom?
At least
now you gotta blame
that's
the mom.
better than sons.
I don't know, bro.
Friends.
I mean, you're supposed to
like think about
friend.
Not that I feel bad for Will, but like, you little fucking bitch slept with my wife. Like you sit over there like playing Xbox. Like that's my Xbox. Give me that control, you little motherfucker.
Like,
get out of here.
But that's what I'm saying. She slept with, because supposedly they were separated. They were about to get divorced, and this young boy was dropping that dick off in his wife. I just wanted to say it like that. Dropping that dick off.
Piece of my dick.
It's like, yeah,
pop off a piece of my dick.
You gonna get this dick. It's like, but
and his roommate walks in, hey, what's going on there?
But that's what I'm saying. So it's like, she did something that if a man had did it, if Will done it, we would be calling him a child molester, even though, because it's like, wait, you slept with your friends?
Yeah, but she's the friends.
He was old enough.
Yeah.
But he was early 20s. She's in, at the time, she's like 20 years. She's 20 years older than him.
It's like that South Park when they arrest the teacher because the kid's sleeping with the teacher. It's the boy. He's like, the cops are like, nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
Everybody's just going,
like,
nice.
Yeah. You're under arrest, lady. Nice.
But that's the same shit when you look at kids. Whenever you see, it's fucked up. Whenever you see that a teacher slept with a child, and then you see it's like a pretty teacher that slept with a boy kid. I mean, a boy.
You're just like, nice.
You're like,
I wish that would have happened to me.
Yeah, all the guys are like, shit, I wish teachers were doing that. I'd be molested, blah, blah. And I'm like, but if it's the opposite way, burn that motherfucker right now. I'll run this motherfucker. Oh, let's quarter him, tie him to our bumpers, and pull him apart.
That's one of those things, man.
And but it's funny because this shows you how much we ignore women. All the women are like, that's fucking disgusting. All the guys are like, nice. Like, hey, what was it like?